Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're noticing, I'm wearing the same outfit from my previous video. I decided to knock out 2 recipes in one day. So this recipe is actually really easy. It's so simple. It's one of my favorite meal prep recipes that I eat throughout the week. So I figured I would share one of my meal prep recipes with you guys. I actually got this idea from a meal prep company that I used to order from. And they sort of make something really similar, and I was like, I could recreate this myself. So I decided to make my own version of it. So everything you're gonna need is right in front of me. This is probably one of the simplest recipes I'm gonna show you guys ever. All you need is some ground chicken or turkey or beef, or you can use the vegan crumbles if you are vegan. So you can sort of like substitute things that you see in this video if you don't eat meat or dairy. So for me, I'm gonna be using ground chicken. I have some cheese here. This is just the taco blend cheese you buy at the store. I have some corn, some black beans, some sour cream. I also have some taco seasoning here, and I have some salsa for you guys. So what I'm gonna do is slice these into wedges. So before I do that, I'm just gonna clear all this out. I just wanted to show it to you guys, and we're gonna focus on slicing up these russet potatoes. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you get these big potatoes. Don't get like a bag of small potatoes because it's gonna be harder to eat them as wedges, unless you don't mind. Personally, I like to cut them into wedges, so I get the big russet potatoes. If you're just cooking for yourself, you're only gonna need maybe 2 or 3 of these. This is for me, so I don't usually make that many. If you're cooking for a family, you're gonna need like 5 or 6 because you're gonna be making wedges. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to focus on for you guys was cutting up these potatoes. So we're gonna start with this one. I did clean this potato, so I'm just gonna slice it in half first. You wanna make sure you have a good knife because it's gonna be hard to slice these. I like to slice them down the middle like this, because wedges, there's like a little technique to making wedges. So once you cut them into these little like corners, you're going to literally just slice it down the middle and create a little wedge, and just place it on your baking pan. Once you place them on your baking pan, you're going to want to make sure that you put a little olive oil on them, not so they won't stick because this is a non-stick pan, but because I like to add a little olive oil so that they brown for me. So, and you're also going to want to season them. You're going to want to put a little salt and pepper on them so that they have some flavor. You can even put the taco seasoning on them if you want to. You don't have to do that though. I kind of like to cut at a slant when I'm doing this. Ooh, oh, I already cut that one. Girl, I was about to cut my finger. Let's not speak that into existence. Okay. So let's slice this one. I like to make them thin because they take a little bit longer to cook when they're thicker. So we're just gonna literally just lay these on our baking pan like so. And then I'm just gonna take a little olive oil and sort of drizzle this along. If you have like one of those little brushes, you can brush the olive oil on as well. And then I'm just going to take little pepper. We weren't fancy today. I didn't have pepper in a little glass bowl for y'all. It's pepper. Figured I would just... Oh, and using ground black pepper to me tastes a little better, but like this is pure ground black pepper, but I mean like with the actual grounder or grinder. Then I'm just gonna take a little bit of salt, and you don't need a lot of this. If anybody cannot have salt, I don't recommend putting it on there. You don't need it. And then I flip them over literally on the other side and season the other side. Just enough to just give them some flavor. So we're just gonna take these, pop these in the oven on 350, and then wait for them to brown, and then I'll show you guys how to load everything up. Real quick, I'm gonna make the ground chicken for you so you guys can see how I do that, and then we'll be close to being done. So I'm gonna start by letting this olive oil heat up in the pan first. You don't want to leave it on too long because olive oil actually burns really fast, so you want to make sure it's just for a couple of minutes. and then I'm going to add the ground chicken in. So I like to brown my ground chicken, so I'm just going to let this cook a little bit before I add any seasoning to it. I'm letting it cook on one side, and I'm just chopping it up because it's a lot softer than ground beef. Ground chicken texture is way more mushy than ground beef is, so you're gonna have to actually manually chop this up yourself. So it's just gonna take a couple minutes, nothing crazy. And then I'm going to add in my seasonings. Once you add in the taco seasoning, you can use any taco seasoning, you guys. It don't have to be nothing special, any taco seasoning. You just want to add that in and just mix it really, really good in that chicken just to give it some flavor. I noticed that the chicken absorbs the seasoning really, really well. So you want to make sure that you are generous and that you do it thoroughly, or else you will over season your chicken. So just take your time, let it brown, and you will be done. Do this for about 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to want to make sure that you flip over your potato wedges. They will brown on one side, so if you're going to lay them flat like this, just make sure that you periodically go in and turn them so that they don't burn. You definitely want to do that because you added olive oil as well, so it is going to like brown them. So just make sure that you're watching them. I let them cook for at least 30 minutes. And I did flip them in like 15-minute intervals, and they were done. So because you're meal prepping, you want to make sure that they are done. So this is what they should look like, because when you go to heat them up, they could still be hard. So make sure you cook them all the way through. Okay guys, so here comes the fun part. We're going to take the wedges and place them in this baking pan. This is the easiest part because you're done once you load everything on there. So if you have a container, if you're gonna meal prep, you would want to put it into a container. I have both. I'm gonna put it in this baking pan just so you guys can see everything, and you can also pop it back in the oven if you want to melt everything together. Some people like it that way. Me personally, I don't really like it like that. I like to just throw it all in this container and then heat it up when I'm ready to eat it in the microwave. But for those of you that like your stuff baked, I'm just gonna take a few of the wedges, and all you're gonna do literally is just place them in the pan. If you have a bigger pan than I have, that would be great. I just have this little small one. The rest of these I'm just gonna put in this container. So you just wanna have some that are gonna coat the pan. If you're serving this to someone, leave a few of these out like I did, because you're gonna wanna cut them. You'll see what I'm gonna do. Or you can use tortilla chips if you're serving it as a dip. It's really up to you guys how you wanna do this. So the next thing you're gonna do is just take some of this ground meat and literally just put it on top. And I got some on the counter, of course, because I am so clumsy all the time. It just never fails. Like I said, you're gonna just load it up with meat. Obviously, you guys can put more potatoes, but since we're doing more than one, actually, you know what? Let's just dump it in there, honestly. Like, who needs to be cute? So we have ground meat. Like I said earlier, guys, you can cut your potatoes to make more room if you want to. All you do is just take the black beans and the corn and put them in the same pot. This was a can of black beans, so it was easier to do that. If you're making fresh black beans, you're gonna soak them first, which I'll put the directions underneath this video for you guys, the recipe. You're gonna soak the black beans for, I would say, put them in like a bowl of water like the night before, or just early in the morning before you cook, and let them soak, and then you cook them with your corn, because corn doesn't take long to cook. So you're not gonna, if you were to take the black beans and not soak them and then just put them in a pot with corn, your black beans are gonna be hard when the corn will be soft. It'll be weird. So if you're gonna use a can like me, I would just use canned black beans and like a bag of like the steamed fresh corn, and the consistency will be the same, and you can just mix them together and put them in a pot. if you want to do it that way. I personally love black beans and corn. So then I'm going to take some cheese and just sprinkle that on top. And so let's move these out of the way. We've got our black beans here. We're going to move that out of the way. And we just have salsa and sour cream left. So if you're going to eat this immediately, you throw on the salsa and sour cream. If you're going to wait, what I would do, especially if you're going to use this one, you're going to heat this up in the microwave later. So I wouldn't add salsa and sour cream until after you heat this up. So you would just pop this in the microwave. Here's a little tip for you guys. Depending on how you guys want to eat this. So if you're going to do the microwave version, you can just simply leave it like this, cover it, put it in the microwave, and then later add your salsa and sour cream. If you want salsa and sour cream, you don't have to put it in there. Me personally, I actually like the salsa in here already, so I'm going to add my salsa on top of the microwave one. And when I put it in the microwave, I just like that taste of the cooked salsa on top. So that's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I'm not gonna add sour cream right now because I'm not gonna eat this right now, and I don't want the sour cream to like go in the microwave, you know? So we're gonna cover this. And this is your meal prep for the week. So if you're serving this to people, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this just like this, pop it in the oven, melt the cheese, and then you're gonna take potatoes, the chips, salsa and sour cream, and put it on top. So real quick, we're gonna pop this in the oven just to melt this cheese. So now that my bake has melted, I just put the salsa in the middle and a little bit of sour cream from over here. And then you're just gonna put your little chips around it, like so, for people to dig in. I mean, it is potatoes, so it's gonna be a little harder to just dip a potato, like to dip a chip in here because there are potatoes in it. But you can just cut them up like I said, so they can just pull out potato instead of like a full potato. It really just depends on how you want to eat this, you guys. Me, I'm just gonna put my chips all around the dip, like so. And if you want to get freaky with it, you can cut up these potatoes and put them in there too. I actually didn't do that, but you guys get the idea, right? Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. I hope that these videos are helpful for you guys. I hope that you enjoy these recipes that I've been putting out this week. I will definitely be back with more recipes. If you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to see, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments, wherever you want, on my page, however you want to do it. All of my social media will always be listed. So if you guys want to see more recipes, please make sure you visit my website. It's glamlife.com. I'm going to list every recipe I put up here for you guys on my website and underneath in the description box. So thanks guys, love you, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Happy eating. Make sure you guys follow me on all of my social media. I have listed. Be sure to click the bell for notifications so you guys know every time I upload a new video. Thanks guys, love you. Bye.